Hello guys, this is JP Direkmeijer for your Time Traveler's Guide. I trust and I hope all of you had a nice holiday on the 1st. Those of you that did have, I think most of you probably did. It is, after all, international holiday with more than one name. Firstly, it's May Day, it's Workers' Day, and it's also Ancient Spring Festival in especially Europe. And one of the places where they celebrate it as ancient spring festival is actually Austria, which is the country that Hitler was born. And the thing is with this, it's quite ironic if you think about it. They're celebrating Spring Day the day after Hitler shot himself. Yeah, and the other thing that now comes in with this is Joseph Goebbels. That was Hitler's second in command. His right-hand man actually committed suicide on this day. Both him and his wife, they took cyanide capsules. But before they did this, they actually, I think they had 4 kids, and they gave all of them cyanide capsules as well. I think it's either 4 or 6 kids, I can't remember now, but either way, they gave them all cyanide capsules, which is quite disgusting. But yeah, so Joseph Goebbels was actually Hitler's Reich Minister of Propaganda from 1933 to 1945. And Hitler wrote him into his testament, actually declaring that he would basically become the Chancellor of Germany should something happen or anything happen to Hitler. So Joseph Goebbels was Chancellor of Germany for one day. I think it was probably the most day of his life, and obviously the last one. So yeah, yeah. So in actual fact, the Russians also declared this day as the day that Berlin fell. So that was the end of the German war effort, and basically the war was over for Germans. Other places where German troops were stationed, like Italy and so forth, they basically gave up arms after this incident. Except for the Pacific War, that still continued for quite some bit with the Americans and the Japanese and so forth. Okay, guys, I think I'm going to move over until the 2nd. This was the 1st of May. I'm putting them both together to save some time. And apologies, there won't be that many pictures, if any, appearing on your screens. I've been having some Google account problems. Hope to sort that out soon, so I can improve my clips for you, my videos for you. Okay, then the 2nd of May. This is also something well, let's just say, okay, 2011. President Barack Obama, at that stage President of the United States, he declared that Osama Bin Laden was shot and killed during a mission in Pakistan, where his compound was stormed by US troops, apparently, well, supposedly SEAL Team 6. They did recover his body. I think it was moved to Afghanistan or somewhere, and then the funeral, according to Muslim customs, took place on a US ship, and he was buried at sea. Obviously, this led to a lot of conspiracies as well, a lot of rumors about SEAL Team 6, all of them dying in mysterious ways or disappearing. I wouldn't know if it's true. It's something actually worth investigating. Might be that it's all bogus, but could be worth investigating. I'll look into that. Then obviously, I'm not convinced about all the things surrounding the 9/11 attacks that made Osama Bin Laden the biggest terrorist ever to live. There's so many things that I'm not too fond of most conspiracies, but the 9/11 attacks, all of it doesn't make sense. Yeah, some of it does. It might all be true, but there's a few things that doesn't quite, yeah, look right. Especially the way the buildings fell down, like controlled demolitions. Multiple witnesses saying they heard multiple explosions inside the buildings. Security being recalled from some of these buildings before, and even a building 7, you guys that's more clued up on this incident, that collapsed without anything hitting it, and the engineers that actually built those buildings saying it was impossible for them to fall down because of jet fuel melting steel beams. they all said, the guys that designed and built the buildings said it was impossible. Yeah, so there's still a bit of investigation that could be done, and look, I don't think it's going to make much of a change, but who knows? Maybe in 50 years from now, someone will come out and admit to something, or more information will come out. But I found it, many people find it extremely suspicious the way things happen. There's so much evidence that says that there's more to this story. But maybe I'll cover some of it in a future video. That's going to be a long discussion, because there's thousands of hours of videos around 9/11 and Osama Bin Laden and so forth. And there's even allegations that the US had dealings with Osama Bin Laden or Al Qaeda before this. Well, I know they did supply weapons to certain factions in Afghanistan even before 9/11, way before that, because they were an alliance, not an alliance, but they were supporting them against Russian forces at some stage, if I remember this correctly, which is quite interesting. Yeah, and also what links into this is the whole start of the war with Iraq as well. The US stating that there's weapons of mass destruction, which they never found to this day, which seems to be an excuse to get into war. Like many people say 9/11 was, and it was orchestrated, but we'll never know. Well, maybe we will, but I doubt in our lifetimes. But in any case, then a few other facts that I found for the 2nd of May, 1946, the Battle of Alcatraz. I didn't even know about this, but it's quite interesting. I don't have much info on it, but yeah. 1946, Battle of Alcatraz, 3 inmates and 2 guards died. Inmates apparently got hold of the armory, or got into the armory, and obviously used the weapons to stage some kind of protests or try to escape. I don't know, but it's quite interesting. I didn't know about that. And then there was 5 separate nuclear tests done. Yeah, you heard this correctly. 5 separate nuclear tests done by the United States on this one day in history. 1962, the first one on Christmas Island. 1972, 1980, 1984, and 1985. Those last 4 years, from 1972 to 1985, all done at Nevada test site, which is quite incredible. It's like 5 nuclear tests on this one day in US history. That's a lot. Yeah, it always seems to be something nuclear on the agenda when I'm doing a talk for some reason. But apparently there's a lot of nuclear history in the world, way more than I even thought there would be. Seems like the United States gave rise to all the freaky horror movies like Hills Have Eyes. Well, that's where they spawned apparently, because of all these tests in that area. You know, those of you that don't know, Hills Have Eyes is movies about people that supposedly mutated by nuclear radiation and stuff that got into the way of the radiation fuel, or whatever the case may be, and they turn out to be like monsters and they run around killing people. But if you are clued up, you would know that radiation doesn't work that way. People live a short, miserable life in general through radiation. They don't mutate into monsters, which is quite comical. But I find it very funny. I'll even watch some of those movies for the entertainment value of it, but I find it very funny that people actually believe that shit. But in any case, so yeah, 5 different nuclear tests on this one day, which is, whoa, unbelievable, man. That's a lot. That's really seriously a lot. Okay, then guys, 2008, Iron Man movie was released. Yay! We all know Iron Man, Tony Stark. So yeah, that's where the first Marvel movie was launched. Well, quite a cool movie, well, according to me. And yeah, I'll look into doing something in terms of Elon Musk at some stage. The reason I'm saying this is I know the Japanese, especially the Japanese, refer to Elon Musk as the real life Iron Man, which is quite interesting. And yeah, as soon as there's something on a date that concerns SpaceX or almost said Tony Stark, Elon Musk, I'll do something about him, because I'm quite intrigued by this guy's character and the stuff he's got planned for the future, his ambition, and the things he do is some of the things he does is quite amazing. You know, I'm not going to go into his tweets. I know it gets him into a lot of trouble, but I've got a lot of admiration for the guy. And as soon as the opportunity arises, and I get the right information or the right opportunity, I'll do something on him. But guys, thanks for tuning in. Thanks for the support. Remember, subscribe, please, down there, and give me a thumbs up. Okay, guys, enjoy your night or your day. Goodbye.